Justice Hunters. The set's gonna change the entire game in a couple of days. But which one should we be talking about first? Should it be Dragotail? Should it be K9? Or should it be Jummy? What am I talking about? Let's start first with K9. Come on, the main start out of this entire set. Alright, so we're going to start off with the Vanquish variant for K9. K9 by itself, pure, it's not that strong as of the moment for Justice Hunters by itself. Just playing 3-ofs of every single K9 is not strong whatsoever. It's more of an engine specifically, so that's why it's more dedicated for its the Vanquish, because it has way more synergies rather than just playing pure. So for the deck list for Vanquish K9, we're playing triple Holy Sue, triple Rasen, triple Dr. Madlove, the single copy of Caesar Velius, triple copies of Jiaolong. Before, you only had to play 2 on pure Vanquish, but now with the addition to the K9 cards to the deck, Jiaolong as a 3-of is absolutely good to play now, and it's not as bricky. However, the downside of now playing the K9 engine, I do think that playing this 2 copies of Burger is necessary now. I don't think the third one is playable anymore due to the fact that you want to see more level 5s now on your hands, and both Rasen and Dr. Madlove give you access to your level 5s. Meanwhile, Burger now is just a Vanquish Dark that allows you to either burn or draw. So now that's the reason why I in my version I would rather play 2 Burgers. However, the third Burger is being replaced by Dimension Shifter, so if you don't like Dimension Shifter, I would recommend playing the third Burger. However, I still think the Shifter, even though it's a 1-off, it's good in this format, since just having access to a Macrocosmos in a hand trap, even it's a Saki 1-of, and a format now that Jummy and Dragotail is going to be one of the best decks now, additional to the format besides Raisil, Mitsurugi, and MALISS. I still think that Shifter is a pretty strong card. Unfortunately, of course, the Dimension Shifter is not as powerful against MALISS. However, you restrict the combo plays that MALISS is able to do on their Shifter. So I do think that is completely necessary to play this card now on the edition for the Justice Hunters format. And as well, if you do draw it later on, it's not a brick, it's a dark. You can reveal for your Vanquish cards, so it's not bad. And then for the K9 cards, we're gonna go into a little bit into them real quick. So the first one being K9 number 17 is Izuna. All the K9 says that if your opponent has 2 more cards in your hand, you can normal summon this card without attributing. This is always gonna happen turn 1 because both of you start with 5 cards in hand. Izuna has an effect that during the main phase, if your opponent activates a monster effect in the hand or graveyard this turn, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. And if this card is normal special summoned, you can send a K9 card from your deck to the graveyard, save herself. So pretty much Izuna is a hand trap if your opponent activated another monster effect on hand or grave. And what you're gonna usually be sending when Izuna's effect on summon is gonna be sending a Lupus. Lupus is that just like any other K9 monster, if your opponent activates a monster effect in hand or grave, quick effect. This turn, of course, you can special this card from your hand or graveyard and banish it when it leaves the field. And during your opponent's turn, you can quick effect immediately after this effect resolves, exceed summon using this card you control. So pretty much, the Lupus is automatic rank 5 during your opponent's turn. So you're able to play cards like Chronomaly of Vimana. You can even summon as well the Nash Knight during your opponent's turn. This for monster negation, this for the Snatch Steal. So that's pretty strong. Also, you're able to also summon Ripper to give you engine during your opponent's turn. And if you know your opponent has a monster deck that type of deck, sorry, that is able to activate monster effects on hand and graveyard, our Ripper is a good negation to be placing on field as well. So having that type of access is really good. Also, you have the option as well for for summoning K9 Hound. Cannot be destroyed by battle or opponent's card effects. The turn is special. Each time your opponent activates a monster effect, this gains 500 attack when that effect resolves, and once per turn during the standby phase, you can detach a material from this card and target one card on the field, banish it. So pretty much this card gets very huge if you're able to summon it during your opponent's turn, and during the standby phase. Once your turn comes over, you can target a card in the field and banish it and start breaking your opponent's board if they're not able to out the Hound, and which it's not going to be very likely because it cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects that are already special summoned. So that's really strong. Like, the only way to really get over it is like an SP Little Knight or the MALISS deck able to banish it from your field. So yeah, it's a pretty good Lupus has many applications. Then the other K9 card being K9 66B Lantern. This is pretty much another version of Revive from Grave, because the Lantern, you're able to activate this card in the hand. You can target a non-pyro level 5 K9 monster in your grave, special summon it both with this card. And during the main phase, you can add a K9 spell and draft from your deck to your hand. So you're either going to be adding the K9 Case of K9 or the K9 EX Force Liberation. And lastly, for the last K9 monster, we're going to play triple copies of 66A JUHU. This is pretty much the second best K9 besides Izuna, because this is able to special summon herself and any level 5 monster in your hand. And during the main phase, you can add a non-aqua K9 monster from your deck to your hand, which is pretty much going to be always in Izuna. So the K9 monsters as well have restrictions. I do believe that all of them have the different type of restrictions when they use their effect. I only think that Izuna is the only one that it doesn't have a restriction. Lantern, if you do use their effect to summon himself from hand and revive a K9 monster from grave, they cannot be used with here for an Exceed summon for a light monster. And I think JUHU as well. Yeah, both JUHU and Lantern have the restrictions that you're not able to summon a light monster by using their effects on hand. So something to be aware of when using their effects. And lastly, for the non-engine, triple copies of Ash is the best hand trap in the current format. Plus, it's a fire for you to reveal with your Vanquish cards. Triple Fulas, standard, the Shifter, Vanquish being triple copies Deck Your Soul, the single copy of Vanquish Start, Call by, triple Tactics Talent, Reinforcement of the Army, one copy of EX Force Liberation, one copy of Case of K9, and a single copy of Vanquish Snow Devil. For the extra deck, 2 copies of Rock of Vanquisher. Now, being with the K9 engine, I don't think the third copy of Vanquisher is necessary anymore. Because usually, if you live your M board like it is on turn 1, you're just going to win the duel on the spot. So, I do think that just playing 2 copies of this is good enough. SP Little Knight, just having coverage for any type of removal is pretty good. Codebreaker Virus Swordsman, this is just for outing Baguska. Any 2 monsters on your field just makes Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. If they don't have anything to protect the Baguska, you can just go into battle phase and attack over it and then start playing from there. The C copy of Sir Juja. This is just an emergency backup in case your field monsters that do not do anything on your field. So let's say, for example, if your opponent survives your onslaught of the field, but you burn all your resources, well, you can just link off your entire field for Saryuja and then mulligan your hand. So that's pretty strong. Single copy of Nash Knight, copy of Chronometer Vimana, number 66 Paradise Smasher. I don't know why this card is still legal. This card should be banned. Now that K9, you're easily able to spam level 5 monsters to the field, you can guarantee its secondary effect. That if you had Exceed material on this card resolving, you can treat one of the results as a 7, so you can have a higher odds of just FTKing your opponent. Number C 101 Side Under Arc with C Exceeds Nash Knight, and number C 107 Neo Galaxy Shakian Dragon. I prefer this version of the deck rather than playing the Masquerade number, the number Exceeds for Masquerade and the Chaos form for Masquerade. I do believe it's a Widboard card rather than just having this Nash Shield from Nash Knight. I still think that the Nash Knight's Nash Shield is way more powerful because you're able to just having access to Vimana by Lepus. which is pretty much what you're looking for with the Masquerade Chaos form Xyz monster. So Vimana just being a monster negate for an activation, it's pretty good overall. And having implications by time with Silent Honor Arc with the Chaos form, because when this card is destroyed by either way, by battle, by card effect, and sent to the graveyard, what it has a material, you can special summon this card from your graveyard and gain life points equal to the original attack of this card. So in time situations, if the situation demands it, you're able to just win by time by this. So something to have consider. And I still think that on the crackback, just slamming a number CO7 Neo Galaxy S Shotgun Dragon is an instant win, due to the fact that you can detach a material from this card onto the end of the turn, negate the effects of all face of cards currently on the field, and also your opponent cannot activate cards with effects on the field. So you pretty much just skill drain the entire board, and your opponent cannot activate anymore any other types of cards on the field if this card resolved. So that's wild. And lastly, the triple copies of the K9 monster being one Ripper, one Hound, and the Werewolf. This card is broken. If you're able to resolve Liberation, you get a pop, and also you get a monster where if it's your turn, you can just banish a card on your opponent's field or grave. Or if it's during your opponent's turn, you can just look at their hand and banish one card or from it face up onto the end phase. You just loop a card. You can get hand knowledge, rip a card, and by the way, this is when your opponent activates a card or effect. So it's gonna resolve 100% of the time unless your opponent just plays around it somehow by not activating or negating this effect. Which it's gonna be very difficult, because if you're able to just summon a K9 Ripper with Lupus, Lupus also has a secondary effect that if it exceeds a material that has this card as a material against this effect, your opponent cannot target this card with card effects. So cards like Impermanence or any type of monster effect that targets to negation or anything for disruption, Werewolf just becomes immune by that. So it's a very pickle thing for your opponent to deal with this boss monster. And lastly, the singular copy of Divine Arsenal AA to Sky's Thunder. I mean, you're playing an Xyz deck by this point, so just having access to this boss monster by attacking with Xyz and then slamming this for a board wipe, it's pretty good. Also, secret effect for Zeus. When the card is destroyed, you can attach anything regarding from your deck that you want to be on your graveyard that you want to detach, or if you feel that the Zeus is gonna be used for a link summon. That's pretty good. So even in some situations, you're able to attach a Lupus out of the deck with Zeus secondary effect. So that's really good. For the side deck, it's something that this is just customizable with personal preference. This is just a standard side deck. You're able to play like triple Lancia, triple Perulia, triple Draw, board wipes being Duster, Regeki, and Lightning Storm. There can only be one. You're able to play it easily because there's a ton of types of monsters that are going to be leaving on your end board. And it doesn't conflict whatsoever with the rank up with the EX Force. Well, it's not a rank up, you just exceed summon. Sorry. Because Reaper is a warrior and the K9 EX Werewolf is a beast warrior. And really nothing out of your entire extra deck and main deck is going to conflict with There Can Only Be One. So we finally have a good deck that is able to play There Can Only Be One, which is very scary. Honestly, this card should be banned, but I don't know why it's still limited. And of course, there's 2 copies of Solemn Judgment. So with the deck profile out of the way, let's go ahead and see some replays. Alright, so for the first combo, we're going to be doing a 2-card combo with JUHU and any level 5 monster from the deck. So it can be, in this case, Holy Sue, can be Vanquish Jiaolong, or any of the level 5 K9 monsters, but I want to do it specifically when we just have access to JUHU, in this case, Vanquish Holy Sue. Either way, even if it's a K9 monster and JUHU, it's pretty much the same combo, but you would have a little bit more extension. But this would be like the worst case scenario in case we just saw JUHU and a Vanquish level 5 monster, and then the rest of cards on our hand are non-engine hand traps. So we're going to start off by activating JUHU's effect from hand. We're going to be summoning JUHU and the Holy Sue from our hand. Then we're going to activate JUHU's effect. We're going to add K9 Izuna, being a non-aqua K9 monster. Then we're going to overlay with these two into an Xyz summon of K9 Ripper, detaching a material to add a K9 card, specifically Pearly being a K9 monster, being the one being detached because we need that K9 monster in grave for following extension of the combo. So with K9 Reaper, we're going to add Case of K9. Then we're going to activate the Case of K9, adding from our deck to our hand K9 Lantern. Then we're going to activate Lantern's effect. We're going to summon himself from hand, targeting the JUHU, summoning both. Afterwards, we're going to activate Lantern's effect to add a K9 spell and trap from our deck to our hand, being EX4's Liberation. Then we're going to XC summon using these two into Nash Knight. And since this being our first turn of the duel, of course our opponent's going to have more than 2 cards on their hand, so we're able to normal summon Izuna without doing a tribute summon. And of course, by using Izuna on summon effect, we're able to Foolish Burial from our deck K9 Lupus. And then afterwards, we're just going to set our K9 EX4's Liberation, and we're going to pass turn. So this is our full M board with that 2-card combo. We have a Nash Knight Snatch Steal 2 materials. We have a K9 Reaper Detach a material when a monster effect is activated from hand or grave. We're able to negate that effect as a quick effect. We have K9 Lupus. If a monster effect is activated from grave or hand, Lupus is able to special summon itself from graveyard. And on resolution, Lupus is able to XC summon by using monsters you control. So we're gonna do a little bit of expression of what we're able to do. So Nash 9 detaching 2 materials, attaching monsters 101 to 107 from our deck to itself to steal an opponent's monster. K9 Reaper detaching to negate. We also have Lupus to summon itself, and then resolution we're able to do XC summon to any monster from our extra deck. That being for normally Vimana. I have a preference over Vimana since in this list we're not playing the Masquerade Chaos form version of the Nash Knight combo, so I prefer the form of interruption being Vimana because this negates the activation of any monster effect by detaching 2 materials. So that's still very strong. And lastly, we have K9 EX4's Liberation. By targeting a K9 monster you control, I am able to then special summon from my extra deck a K9 Xyz monster with a different name. And then on resolution, after special summoning, we're able to pop a card on the field. And then K9 EX Werewolf is able to detach a material, look at our opponent's hand, and banish a card from it onto the end phase, when of course our opponent activates a card of effect. So that's the end of this combo. Overall, that's a total amount of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 interruptions by a simple 2-card combo without including the other 3 cards from our hand. It's still pretty decent overall. So now let's go into a different combo with the Vanquish cards. Alright, so for this combo, we're gonna be using as well JUHU and Vanquish Rasen. So Rasen, it's pretty much the heart and soul of Vanquish, and if you're able to resolve Rasen's effect here in this combo, you can just pretty much just go crazy with this 2-card combo. So we're gonna start off as well with Vanquish Rasen normal summon. Activate the effect of Rasen. We're gonna be adding Vanquish Holy Suit from our deck to our hand. Then we're gonna link summon using Rasen into the Rock of the Vanquisher. We're gonna activate Rock of the Vanquisher's effect. We're gonna recover the Rasen from our graveyard to our hand. Then we're gonna proceed to activate JUHU's effect. We primarily, when we are playing Vanquish, we want to do Holy Suit, summon, revealing Rasen to summon, and then we are able to special Vanquish from our deck by revealing the JUHU and the Rasen. But why do that when we're able to extend even further with JUHU? So then we're gonna activate a resolution JUHU's effect. We're gonna be adding from our deck to our hand K9 Lantern. And why Lantern? Because specifically Lantern is a dark. So in resolution of this, we're able to activate Holy Suit's effect. We're revealing Rasen and we're revealing Lantern. We're able to summon from our deck Vanquish Dr. Madlove. Then we're activating Dr. Madlove's effect. We're gonna be adding Vanquish start. And now in this point of the combo, our opponent, if they have Nibiru, they have 2 Nibirus here. Because if not, we're gonna just proceed to XC summon into Ripper. And now they're not able to Nibiru us anymore, because Ripper will be able to negate that Nibiru from their hand. they would have to have specifically Nibiru and another hand trap like Imperm or Valor to overall stop our board at this state. So following up with the combo, we're going to activate Ripper's effect. We're going to be detaching the Juggle. We're going to be adding Isuna. And then we're going to be activating Lantern's effect. We're going to be summoning Lantern and Juggle. Then we're going to activate Lantern's effect. We're going to be adding the Case of K9. In this case, if you like to have the extra pop from by the other quick play instead of adding the Case of K9, that's another viable option. However, depending pretty much in our hand, if we really have a dark attribute monster from our hand, I would absolutely search for the quick play spell. But in this case, since we're starting with a 2-card combo just with Joko and Rasen, I think it's preferred to search the Case of K9, simply because having the access to another dark monster and keep extending is pretty stronger. So with Case of K9, we're going to be adding another copy of Joko. They were to be overlaying this two into Nash Knight. In this scenario, of course, if we want to do the same play and still have access for the quick play, we would be able, if we were playing the Masquerade Chaos Form Exceed monster, because that monster on summon is able to pop any spell and trap, and if Case of K9 is destroyed from the spell and trap zone, it's able to set a K9 quick play spell from our deck or graveyard. So that's another option from this combo. However, I still think that the Masquerade Chaos Form Exceed is a way win more card, and it's not completely needed on the end board. And just having access to the Snatch Shield, it's from my personal preferences from playing the deck, it's more stronger. But either way, it's up to the player personal preference. So we're gonna continue with the combo then. Then we're gonna go ahead and activate Vanquish start. We're gonna activate the effect targeting the Mad Love. We're gonna be adding another copy of Holy Sue, because if you might recall, we have not activated the Holy Sue at all in this entire combo. We're gonna be revealing the Rosin with the Holy Sue. It's gonna be summoning herself into the field. And then we're gonna go ahead and go to the end phase and activate Vanquish start. And we're gonna be setting the Vanquish Snow Devil from our deck. So the amount of disruption this end board has, it's honestly very disgusting. So we have Nash Knight, Snatch Steal, we have Ripper effect to negate a monster effect from hand or grave. We also have the bounce effect from the Dr. Mad Love, because our monsters are pretty huge in the defense proportions. So by revealing Dark and Earth, we're able to bounce back a monster with the lowest defense. We have as well the Snatch Shield from Holy Sue. And afterwards, after using our non-Vanquish monsters in this case, after using all of our Vanquish monsters disruptions, and for the Nash Knight and for the Ripper, we're also just be able to guarantee the Snow Devil by revealing the Dark, the Earth, and the Fire. We've got a Dark Hole the entire board. We're gonna clear some space out of our zones, and if our opponent did actually activate a monster effect from grave or a hand, the Isuna is now a hand trap and is able to summon herself into the field by then proceeding to Foolish Burying on the Joko to then Exceed summon to the Vibana for another interruption. So the fact that this deck is able to produce this amount of disruption is honestly very insane. So this is pretty much the standard combo from the deck by using Joko and Rasen, and any form of variation from the deck from any type of Vanquish and K9 monsters, it's able to produce a similar end board like this one. But lastly, we're gonna do into a very quick combo, because OCG was not able to do this overall, with K9 Fiendsmith.
Now shout out to our sponsors, the first one being Graad, the best grading company in Europe, based in PIANETA in Milan. The second one is CardTrader, the online marketplace platform where you'll find the cards you need at market price in one shipment only. Create your account using the link right here. The third one, Game to Collect, is one of the top Italian sellers on the market, specializing in high-rarity American cards, gold format, and misprints. They also collect your cards up to 85% of their value. Next one is Magician Circle, a local store in Trieste specialized in sealed and custom products. They also host events for all TCGs. Then shout out to GameLover, your favorite place based in Crema, where you can eat, play card games, table games, and also video games. Next we got Aliandi, your go-to place in San Giovanni Lupatoto, where you can find mangas, comics, board games, singles, and tournaments for all TCGs. Then a shout out to Planet Fun, the best place to go in Rovato for weekly tournaments for all TCGs. Last local store we have is Gamerland, based in Abbiate Grasso, Lombardy's best shop to buy singles, sealed, and play weekly tournaments. Then we have Chapa's Playmats. They produce amazing custom playmat that may have your own image on them. Last but not least, we have Dragon Inc. They produce our official PA jerseys and cloth mats. All their links are in the description down below, so don't forget to check them out.
So for the last combo for the video, I'm going to be showing you all K9 Fiendsmith. So this variation of the deck has not been fully explored on the OCG, unfortunately, due to the fact that Fiendsmith overall got destroyed by the ban list over there. However, everything besides Lacrimosa being banned, it's fully legal, unlimited. For some reason, we still have Fiendsmith full power yet on the TCG, so might as well try with K9. I mean, the combo we're gonna be showing, it's a pretty strong combo, still a 2-card combo with Engraver and Juggle. So let's go ahead and get into it. So we're going to start off by activating Fiendsmith Engraver's effect from hand. We're going to be adding from deck to hand Fiendsmith Tract. Then, you know, the usual stuff. Tract, add Lurie, pitch Lurie, Lurie effect, summon Lurie. Then we're going to be doing link into Requiem, Requiem effect, summon Lacrima, Lacrima effect, and Engraver. Now, and before we go into further, this is pretty much, we're gonna going back to the point where Fiendsmith Ricehill used to do this type of combos when they had another level 4 body that got interrupted, let's say like the Ice Ricehill or X Ricehill, and they had a Lacrima on board. So again, don't forget, all the K9s, while our opponent has show more cards in their hand, we're able to normal summon this card without tributing. And since it's turn 1 at the start of the match, of course our opponent is going to have more than 2 cards in their hand. So we're going to go ahead and proceed to normal summon the Juggle, then activate Juggle's effect. We're going to be adding the K9 Lantern. Then we're going to link summon both of these into the Fiendsmith sequence. Activate sequence effect. We're going to fuse exactly with Engraver, Requiem, and Lurie. We're going to do the Fiendsmith Desiree. Then we're going to link both of these into the Fiendsmith Agnem Day. Then we're going to do Agnemness effect. We're going to summon the Engraver from our grave. Then we're going to fusion summon into Necrocrypt. Then we're going to activate Engraver's effect on grave, returning the sequence, summon it back, and you guessed it, we're going to do good old Caesar. And now we can proceed to do the full portion of the K9 combo. So we're going to activate Lantern from hand, summon itself, summon Jokul, then Lantern effect, Case of K9. Then we're going to do K9 Ripper, Ripper effect, detaching, add Isuna. Then Case of K9, add another copy of Jokul. And then remember, we never use Jokul's effect from hand, so we're able to do that right now with the Isuna. Then the Isuna, we're gonna dump the Lupus, and then we're gonna proceed into the Nash Knight. And then in this variation of the deck, I do recommend using the Masquerade portion of in the extra deck, because it's the most amount of disruptions here. So we're gonna proceed to do the Nash Knight, summon the Horror Masquerade, do the Masquerade effect on summon, pop Case of K9. Then we're able to set directly from our deck the EX Force Liberation. And this is our end board. The amount of disruptions this has, I cannot tell. So, K9 Ripper, monster negate from hand or grave. Umbra Horror Masquerade, detach a material, burn for half and negate the activation. We have Caesar's effect to negate 2 summons, and we have Agnem Day to summon back the the Desiree by Lacrima. So the amount of disruptions here is honestly stupid. Oh, as well for the liberation as well. Pop, XC summon, and then when opponent activates a card effect, we loop a card from their hand. So that's pretty much it for this combo for for Fiendsmith K9, and let's go ahead and go straight into the deck profile. A standard triple Yasuna, triple Jekyll, the 1 Lupus, the 1 Lantern, triple copies of Case of K9, 1 K9 EX Force Liberation. You're also able, if you're for personal purposes, you want to play the K9 LC Liberation is also a consideration. However, it's not completely necessary to be played. It's still a pretty good card if you do not know what it does. It's a target a K9 Xyz monster, rank 5 Xyz monster you control, special summon from your extra deck 1 K9 Xyz monster with a different name by using that monster you control as a material. It's considered as an Xyz summon, and at the end of the battle phase, if your K9 monster battle this turn, you can set this card from your graveyard. So it's not bad. It provides you another access to your K9 Xyz monsters, and as well to just using any rank 5 you control. But in this version of the deck, and even for Vanquish, K9 is not a really good card. If you were gonna play pure K9, I would recommend it 100,000% to use it. So something to have in mind when deck building. The new card from Alliance Insight, Chaotic Elements. This card is pretty much designed for this archetype because on activation, you can add low fire or higher, light or dark, pyro or aqua monster from your deck or graveyard to your hand. Then if you have 3 or more pyro and or aqua monsters in your grave, you can destroy 1 card on the field. If your opponent controls a monster, being a light or dark, pyro or aqua, you can banish this card from your graveyard and target 1 monster your opponent controls, take control of 1 of them until the end phase. This card is bonkers. The fact you can just add any K9 monster, I believe, let me double check. I believe it will be just be Jekyll specifically, because it's a dark pyro. I mean dark aqua monster, which is still pretty good. The fact that you're able to just search Jekyll, which is searchable by other means than just Case of K9, is a good card. Then following up here with the Fiendsmith, just standard triple engraver, 1 Lacrima, 1 Fabled Luri, 1 Fiendsmith Truck, 1 Fiendsmith Paradise, and then you have 18 slots for Dawn Engine. So because you're just playing a very short K9 package with the Fiendsmith engine as well, you can just play any amount of hand traps as you wish. It's just a standard ratio that would play if I were to use this deck. Just triple Ash, triple Fua, double Nibiru, triple Droll, triple Veiler, 2 Bestials, and 2 Imperm. You can play any ratio of hand traps. And as well, if you do not play 18 hand traps, you can just play another staples like triple Tactic Talent, Called by the Grave, Crossout Detonator, all that stuff. And for the extra deck, just standard Fiendsmith extra deck, Fiendsmith Desiree, Necrocrypt Princess, Chaos Angel, the C National Knight, the DDD Wave King High Caesar, the K9 Ripper, K9 EX Werewolf, Nash Knight, number 104 Masquerade, the number C104 Umber Horror Masquerade, Typhon, Fiendsmith Agnem Day, Fiendsmith Requiem, Fiendsmith Sequence, and a copy of Wound of a Close Heaven. So this will be the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed this very extensive guide all regarding about K9. K9 is gonna stay in the TCG and provide a good amount of strength for all the decks present in the current format. So be ready for all the K9 shenanigans gonna be happening post Justice Hunters format. So hope you all enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, subscribe to the Purple Haze YouTube channel, and see you all to the next video. This has been Mario Duron from Purple Haze team.